Greetings, geeks! Welcome to episode 428 of Geeks in Space. I'm Rob Commander Taco Malda with an incredibly full chat room today. I have Chris DeBona.
Hi, everybody. I'm trying to tweet out the chat link. And
I have Rob Roseboom.
Hey there.
I have a Cliff Lampe.
Howdy.
And a Will Smith. Familiar faces.
Hello.
All right, folks. The first thing that I had on my agenda was the Vox Retcon. They had a story that was up on February 1, which was basically a, look, this thing's going to be no big deal. And all the conspiracy theorists linked to it all month. And then they rewrote the article. And it was like, thanks. They didn't say oops or anything. So the conspiracy theorists, they're not linking to anything that's like, hey guys, stop linking to this. We're full of crap. So yay. They had a story that was up on February. Somebody's on about a 10-second lag.
I was just checking the stream because
you were streaming. You tweeted the stream.
I was just about to. So I'm doing it now.
Because if you do that, then I'll retweet you. How about that?
It's funny, I just gave an online 2-hour lecture on misinformation and disinformation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, this is endemic of the times, right? Like, the truth is completely about narrative at this point. And you can easily go back and change something like that. And it's just, the important thing isn't to be right. The important thing is to overwhelm the amount of information that you have. And that's a great example.
Yep.
I'm really shocked. I'm really shocked that they didn't go back and do a correction. Honestly, that's like the journalism Twitter was on them for this yesterday. I saw, and it's pretty amazing that they changed this without saying, "Hey, by the way, we updated this to reflect current information," which is what you would expect them to do.
It is a little bit different, right, than say rewriting a paper for college or something. It's an actual news story.
Yeah.
Well, the conversation yesterday was interesting because, at first people were like, "Hey, why should you? This is a thing from February. Obviously, it's a month later. Why should we update this to say, hey, what we understood in February was wrong?" But there's a massive public damage being done by the way this article is being passed around, and they do actually have a correction on the original article from March 3rd. But that was just about a percentage of cases, not the actual rewrite that apparently happened. So,
and was it screenshots that basically are outing people? Like, can people take screenshots of the original article?
It's on archive.org.
Okay.
Oh, so they actually pull the article? Because I saw somebody mention it on the Twitter earlier today, and one of the Vox reporters was like, no, we totally have a thing up, and put it's a link to an article, but I didn't follow the link because I'm very lazy and I was getting my morning iced tea.
Well, right. It's from archive.is, not archive.org.
Oh, no. So it's even worse.
Yeah, it's an off-brand right-wing archive.org, probably.
What is .is? Is that
Israel?
Is it Israel?
I don't know.
I've never really determined what the rhyme or reason to that sort of stuff is.
Iceland. It's Iceland.
Iceland.
Mm-hmm. Except to know that I will once again put forth that the internet owes me total unfettered control of everything that happens on the .tld.
Is there a .tld now?
It doesn't matter if there is or isn't. I should be granted by the grandfather clause of the internet.
That's not how the internet works.
I know, but it should be.
I thought you were the grandfather of the internet.
I am.
Well, I will again remind you of the time I tried to register the .ln TLD for the moon, and they told me that to go and talk to the UN and have the moon declared a principality, that they could then give me one. And years later, this is like in 1996. Years later, after much trolling, I ran into Vince Cerf, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we had a good laugh about that one." So. But yeah, when the Republic of Texas wackos were trying to push for Texas secession, I texted them. I sent them an email. I was like, I can't take you seriously without a proper TX, top level domain. So that's my internet humor of the day.
The only way we're gonna get through this, man. Internet humor.
Mm-hmm. I put up the streaming link.
Excellent.
And
Now
the link to the channel.
let me retweet that so Jake doesn't forget.
Well, are you beginning to understand why we have 4 subscribers? I think you do.
I think you have I think every audience finds its niche is what I've always found. And, the show has grown mightily since I was on last. So I'm you guys have done a good job.
Yeah, we're at like 75 subscribers on YouTube.
We're going for the top, man.
We're gonna go for 77. Our goal is actually to invite all of our audience members as members of the cast. So
one at a time.
So once upon a time, I went to America's Test Kitchen to interview Chris Kimball and talk about what they do there when I was at Tested. And as we were walking around doing the tour, he's like, "I know why you do this," and he looked at me, and I was like, "Oh shit, he knows something." I forget. Yeah. Okay. So.
Our 75 users
we just
have been demonetized.
3 subscribers are gone. No, and he was like, "You do this because you want to hang out with interesting people," and I was like, he's right. He figured it out. Yeah. So. Yeah, I understand.
I think that we've made no bones about the production of this whole thing, which is that Rose Boom and I work at home, and if we did not talk to our friends a couple of times a week, we would probably go insane. And so this is purely group therapy.
Yeah. Well.
I've been working from home for 5 years now. I get it.
Yeah.
I love your green screen fabric, though.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Tight.
It's for the other.
We'll turn the lights green.
The other computer can make that green. I'm on space on the other screen, but I didn't get it set up to work. So next time.
It looks to me like because you have a light behind you that you're actually taking cares to prevent fringing. So that to me really says quality.
Hey, it's
it's only 6 of the 12 feet though. So
yeah, I know it's disappointing, but it's an amateur home Pacifica setup. So my 10 by 10 foot office is fully equipped for streaming and video conferencing.
So I've been spending the week painting my shed. Now, literally, I'm going to talk about paint drying, by the way. And it's been both rainy and cold out, so it takes a full day for everything I do to dry. So I'm on day 6, and in doing so, I managed to pull my trick rib that I fractured a couple years back. So I'm basically a mess. Well, one day I will have an 8 by 10 shed where I'll be doing this stuff from. Right now, I'm in my closet. So
closets are good.
Yeah, that's why I have here.
Instead of setting this up this morning, I was out in the backyard because we had the second double rainbow here in 2 days, which was very exciting.
Well,
I know.
We just had our first all virtual PhD defense where the defendant.
Oh man,
where the candidate
how was that?
Where the candidate was in her closet. She has 2 young kids, so she was actually in her master bedroom closet defending her dissertation.
Wow. How did it go?
Yeah.
It was interesting. In some ways, it was much more interesting than usual because there was a very active kind of chat channel going on the side, and the questions were great. The Q&A section was fantastic, and people were kind of reacting to them on the side. It was nice. It was, I may never have to meet another person in person again.
You turned down her PhD. Clearly.
Yeah, but that was.
That was going to happen anyway.
That was different reason.
The closet was organized poorly, so clearly.
Actually, it was cedar, like it was a cedar closet. So I was
so it kind of looked like a sauna.
I was going to pass her just for class, right? Ooh. Like that's.
Do you think that was worse or better for her?
I think she was nervous about it up front, but that it became better because, it was a controlled environment and, the whole 9 yards. Though typically when we do the PhD defense, there's like 60 or 70 people in the room, and that's like a big kind of production. So I think she missed some of the kind of pomp and circumstance of the full defense.
Yeah.
I mean,
you should stream these. Put these on Twitch. People would watch that. It could be a new category: PhD defense.
Oh man, that'd be so
holy
great.
shit, I'm writing that down.
We should really, we don't Twitch this, and we really should. I have another machine.
Can OBS stream to 2 simultaneous channels?
It can now.
It can.
As of like 3 weeks ago, yeah. They
OBS.
Rob, you're on it.
All right. I might need somebody to figure out like if we need permissions or authority or something. I don't know if they don't. I mean, I haven't been able to get that.
I paid for Twitch Premium Prime Plus Nexus 1, like when we restarted more diligent uploading.
Difficulty.
Yeah, before after we took it out of Jeff Bates's incompetent hands.
That's right.
Yeah.
Cliff, I remember your PhD defense, and I will say that for this woman doing hers from a closet, I do feel a little sad for her because I felt like that was a moment where, your friends showed up to support.
Wait a second. No, that was you didn't have people at your defense. You had people at your presentation, right, Clampy?
No, it's the defense. I mean, they send people.
They have an audience at the defense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
That's like match day level cruel. That's awesome. Like if you get turned down and your friends are like, "Oh, sorry, dude."
That's right. Well, then they turn questions over to the audience at some point, and the kind of norm is don't ask the dick question, right? Like
Did I ask a dick question?
No. I'm sorry, you didn't understand him. He said, "Don't ask the dick," being him, a question. So.
I have a question. Actually, it's more of a comment.
Why are you so stupid?
Yeah, this is not X-Men, sir.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing that stuff are moving virtual. Not to hijack, but we're working on a D&D campaign.
Yeah.
So Roseboom and I there play in a regular game, take turns DMing every so often, and we got a game going on in 5th Ed, which is pretty sweet. But even we, in our wisdom, have decided we probably shouldn't meet face to face right now. So we're trying to virtualize our D&D game for the first time. So it's been interesting to try to convert that game over just a few days to online experience. And
are you using D&D Beyond, that site? Because I found 5th edition almost impossible to do without Beyond, honestly.
I'm using Roll20, I think, or at least trying some aspects of it. It scales up pretty nicely. Like they have a decent chat function that allows you to roll dice within the chat, which will be an interesting amount of transparency for our group in terms of dice rolls.
There might have been some cheating. In
Natural 20.
Right. I don't know. I got a 20.
Another natural 20.
I'm on a roll today.
My favorite is a player who rolls a dice like 5 minutes earlier, just randomly, and it happens to be good dice, so he just leaves it for.
I was there was like over the summer vacation, we had a number of the local boys from our friends group playing D&D at my kitchen table. And it was pretty darn entertaining watching. Like I was the responsible adults in the next room, making sure that nothing got into shenanigans. And they're all like, 11, 12, 13 age range. And it was pretty fun listening to them try to cheat. It was like, oh, you guys aren't good at this yet.
Yeah,
the point of these games is not to cheat. I don't know if I need to remind you of this, but
well, for some people it's to cheat. But
you never played Alan Lacey.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. The biggest technical thing I see is sort of map and figure management.
Yeah. Well, the biggest technical thing so far is I had to Amazon over a webcam and microphone to one of our players to use because he didn't have that for his setup.
Are you guys seeing this in Michigan or you're in San Francisco, so you're probably seeing it like where a bunch of Amazon is now saying delivery in April 22nd or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like necessities only, like monitors or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2-day Prime has been 5 days, so thanks, Bezos.
Yeah.
The last thing that I got delivered from Amazon, and I got to tell you, there was a pretty serious happy dance, was the 50-pound box of kitty litter. Because oh good, we can go for 2 more weeks now.
Yep. You won't have to use any of that toilet paper. Just
that's right
in the box with the cat.
Well, I mean, considering we may be trapped 12 to 14 weeks minimum, maybe months and months, I decided it was clearly essential to have more charcoal, so I ordered charcoal.
Wow.
It's like I ordered 10 5-pound boxes of the Pok charcoal because I go through 1 box when we do 1 night of cooking. So
you're the hoarder, man.
I felt a little hoardy. So.
Yeah.
See, hoarding charcoal just makes sense in the apocalypse, though.
Yeah, you
right?
can grind that stuff up and use it if you've been poisoned.
Right?
There's all kinds of things you can use for charcoal. Yeah.
Have you guys done run rates on like the most essential things that you have in your house? We did the toilet paper one to see how many, because I had no idea how much toilet paper we use. We did that. I looked at Diet
Prescriptions.
Cokes, medicine, coffee. Coffee was the important one, it turns out. Yeah,
I
there
bought
you go.
6 kilograms of coffee, like before anything was in the United States. I bought 6 kilograms of coffee and threw it in my freezer. I was like, well, it's not in the United States yet, but if it does, I've got that.
Yeah, I got a couple of years here. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm a little worried. You know, my friends have started calling grocery stores grocery kill boxes for the virus, and I'm like, come on,
Yeah.
man, we got to go to the grocery store. But yeah,
Look, I haven't left the house in 18 days now, so
holy
wow.
mackerel. See, I went
I'm
to the
not
store
at
the
all
other
crazy.
I went to the store the other day, and it was me and shipped employees.
Yep.
Right. Like it was just me and luckily for me, my kid's pediatrician, she was also shopping, so I felt like fuck it, I'm good.
Good on her. Yeah, I'm on day 14 in my house, but unfortunately in my house we've had 2 situations where my wife had to go out for medical emergencies for the elders.
Oh no.
Yep.
Yeah. I've lost track. I don't even know. My beard might know, but I don't know how long it's been.
Well, I was overdue for a haircut as it was, so now I'm like, oh, this sucks.
Oh, ponytail's coming back.
No way, man. No way. That thing's deader than a doornail. You know, I only kept that because my daughter required me to until her senior year, because it's a long story.
I've been told I can't shave my beard until my daughter's left the house. So.
Oh yeah, no. When the kids were much smaller, I remember asking my son, who I think was like 4 at the time, I was like, "So Dad wants to shave his beard off," and he started crying. I'm like, "Oh my God, fine."
Oh, you guys listen to your kids too much. That's what I'm learning.
Right.
Yeah, we're in California. Everyone's nice here. It's not like Michigan where you know you go to your children, you slap them, and you say, "I'm cutting the beard off, you little shit."
You
Go
slap
outside
them
and make
in.
more charcoal.
If you complain now,
more charcoal, you idiot.
Yeah, go chop more wood. We need 5 reels of firewood by tomorrow afternoon.
Cords.
Thank you. Reels. I don't know. Look,
you might as well move to Los Angeles with that level of knowledge.
Now here's your ice fishing pole. Go make yourself lunch.
Yeah.
Got your auger.
Here's a 22. Go get me a deer.
I've always wanted to go ice fishing. It seems really fun.
Doesn't it though?
Sit and drink beer over a hole. What's wrong with that? That sounds great.
It's tons of fun.
Okay, so in all seriousness, we have to figure out how to watch the season finale of Picard together live.
I totally want to do this. But you guys, you jumped the gun. I was ready. I
know, but you were unavailable for like 24 hours, and I needed to see those space
I'm sorry. I was rescuing my daughter from Los Angeles as they were sheltering both cities in place.
I saw that movie with Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Kurt Russell.
Did you do the drive?
Escape from Los Angeles? Yeah, no, I ended up so the one I tweeted about was if I had to go to Texas to pick her up. So I only had to go to Los Angeles to pick her up. So
okay.
Yeah. So she flew from Texas to Los Angeles, and we met up, packed up her dorm room and drove home 6 hours. So
I have a friend who's had his mom living in his basement mother-in-law suite for the last 14. I think she gets to come out today actually, because she flew out from Connecticut a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah. So he's keeping her in her hole.
Yes. So they're keeping her separate, keeping her safe.
If she sees her shadow, it's 4 more weeks of Corona. And
no way, dude. The president already told us that everything's going to be up and running by Easter, so it's fine now.
Yeah.
Jeez, I can't believe like literally the worst person to be in the charge of the country during this thing, you know.
He is the maximum incompetent for able to be elected. Like, you can't be able to be elected and be more incompetent than that man, because you wouldn't pass the election.
It's baffling.
Oh.
Okay, I actually have a serious thing that I've been pondering on this subject for a while.
Bring it.
And this is horrible, but this is like the kind of thing that I'm trying to work through. Okay, if let's say 1,000 people die in America from the coronavirus, Trump gets reelected, he's hailed as the hero, the great truth teller. If 50 million people die, then he will get, like, there's no possible way that he gets elected. His level of incompetence will be clear. Even his most ardent supporters will walk away. Where is
even
the
his
line?
most ardent surviving supporters.
Well, the demographic changes alone would get him out of office. But where is the line between 1,000 people and 50 million people where people look at this and say, "Oh no, this is wrong"?
So you
I
want
think the
to
problem
figure
is
out then the least amount of people who need to die so he won't be elected again? That's what
No,
you're trying
I'm
to
just
figure
afraid that it's not. It's
no,
not.
you're wondering where that line is. That's
I don't know where that line is.
the problem is it's not a single line. It's not just deaths. It's also people who suffer greatly. It's also, frankly, the state of the economy. You know,
I
it's
think-
like this. So, you know, the old, it's the economy, stupid. Like, in a great economy, a dumb idiot can get reelected. You know, is sort of the message of that.
Yeah.
But the economy is not coming back. You know, it's
think-
going to take years to recover.
Yeah, I think it's the economy more than deaths, for sure.
Yeah. And
It's
come
all-
on. And also, if you're a super hardcore right-wing, super religious person, your reward's in the afterlife, right? So whatever, you know, you don't care about any of this earthly stuff, right? I mean, you guys grew up in the Michigan area. You know what it's
Dude,
like.
I like my grandma.
I do too. I don't know her, but I mean, I like grandmothers.
She's probably
typically
very nice. Yeah.
I mean, anti-standard grandmothers are acceptable.
I
So.
mean,
Here's the good news, though. You can
I
accomplish
know
both
you
goals.
like her, but
She and Rob have beef. Here's the good news,
Yeah.
though, right? Like, if your goal is to get rid of Trump and save people, like, you can both save people and get rid of Trump by keeping the quarantine up, because that will continue to hurt the economy and hurt his chances at re-election, and also save people. So it's a win-win, except for Mr. Trump, of course.
I mean, honestly, I don't care.
I mean, let's be clear. It's not. There's no win-wins here, right? I mean, the economy going into the crapper is going to kill a ton of people.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know.
Yep.
And the next 2 to 4 weeks are going to be awful. Like, it's going to be bad.
Yeah. You're going to see all those places that were super generous with paying their people. They're going to be like, we can't do it anymore. And they just start laying them off. I mean, so this brings up in the taco zone a story,
O'Reilly.
right? So O'Reilly is just like, we can't postpone these events. We're taking a huge hit. We're out, right? And if we're not out now, we're going to have to lay off the whole damn company. So they just laid off the events division. And it sucks, right?
Yeah.
It totally stinks. I mean, these are friends, man. I've been to every freaking OSCON since 1998. Okay, I met my wife and my first date was after the 1998 open source town hall at the Pearl conference. I mean, give you an idea of how.
That is a romantically charged event.
Well, I mean, we're married. It's 20 years. I mean, it must have worked.
There was a Pearl conference?
Yes.
Oh,
it was a Pearl conference that had a little open source town hall attached to it.
Oh.
And she and I had met before, but she knew I was coming to the thing. I knew she was coming to the thing. So we're like, hey, how's it going? We both showered.
Wow.
But it was really more of a meat market than anything.
Yeah, Richard Stallman really gets the juices going when he starts talking.
I mean, for a very specific type of person, but still. Yeah.
I mean,
how open is this?
I still have very warm feelings, but it's like, but back to the topic, you can sort of lay down the tracks and be kind of optimistic for the first month. But after that, people start slowing down their takeout. They start slowing down their interactions. And suddenly we're at 20% unemployment. Bates is like, we're going to hit 18, 20%. I can't wait till the next jobless numbers, because he's basically a ghoul when it comes to jobless numbers. So, yeah.
Yeah,
I think 20% is optimistic.
We're looking at, so I run a bunch of conferences for computer science, right? And we canceled, obviously, our one in May. That was our big conference that was going to take place in Hawaii. But we're looking at, can we hold our 2021 conference even, right? Like, it may not be possible to hold a conference even as far out as end of April 2021. And that's, 4,000 people. We're talking $1.7 million between us and the hotels of lost money. Like, it's a chunk.
And you're talking, a lot of the people who are going to lose their jobs first are those people who are least able to deal with it. You're talking food service people in the entertainment industry, stuff like that. People who don't have a bank account.
I mean, look at Disney, right? So Disney, all productions are halted, right? All of them, right? The parks are closed for at least 2 to 4 months.
No, they're reopening on April 1. They said.
Yeah, April 1.
There's no way.
Of course not.
Florida,
I mean,
Florida's fine, Chris.
Florida's
just
fine.
fine. There's
Yeah.
no emergency. There's no problem. Keep going to the beaches. Keep having your spring break parties. Come on down to Disney World. Get a Rona. It's great.
Yeah.
I follow a friend of ours.
I got to tell you though,
who is a Florida resident, and basically my Twitter now is like 40% retweets about the Florida hellscape. And the only reason that I'm continuing to follow it is that I have a family member living in Florida, and I'm like, oh no. I actually have a Florida question. Have you guys seen the thing with it's the whatever FANSA or whatever, the health thermometer graph, where they're showing that Florida is showing 2 to 3% higher flu rates? Is that like, I don't know the backstory behind that, but it just seems like the testing would be like have higher density in Florida anyway, because I assume that the only people who would have an internet connected thermometer or would be like old people. But I wondered if that was legit or not.
Well, so what should really jump out at you are these very temperate and warm places that are still showing COVID infection rates. Because if the story is, you know what, in the summer it's all going to go away, why are we seeing any cases in South America? Why are we seeing, so you start you really start questioning some of what people are saying about, the summer events and yeah. But so the thing I was going to say about Disney World is, as somebody, I loved going to Disney with the kids. I mean, it was so great. And you time it out so that, you can go from this ride to that ride without spending too much time in line. So of course I'm thinking, if they reopen Disney World, there's no way you're going to have like armies of Brazilians visiting, right? Or armies of people from out of the country. It's all going to be locals, so it's going to be more like Disneyland, but huger. So it could be the best time to ever visit, but I'm not going to. So.
I mean, what you do is you open the park, but you have to take the test that says you already had it. If you've already had it, go nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Wow. What if society breaks down into two types of people? People who are clean and people who have not been, don't have the antibodies yet.
Well, the vulnerable and
or have antibodies. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
it'll be interesting. Well, and also it's not clear that you can't not get reinfected if you've had it once.
It's pretty clear. Like
have they figured this out?
Well, so the cases that they had where people have shown reinfection are in places where testing was unclear at the time. So the presumption is that people had the flu and then had tested positive for COVID after. The big question I have is how many people has this shelter in place? How many people has this revealed like a deep agoraphobia that they didn't realize was there before? Where they're just, people all of a sudden people are going to be like, I don't like leaving the house. It turns out I just thought didn't like putting on real pants, but now it turns out I have an actual real clinical fear of going outside.
And I'm vindicated. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm going to be an inside person now.
So. As somebody who
I guess Rob
approximately twice a week for any reason, I would gladly stay inside forever.
See, as one of nature's extroverts, this is hitting me hard.
Yeah.
I'm like watching people out my window. Hey,
you just gotta thicken that quarantine callus, Lampe. And
yeah, rub up against something and build up that callus. No, wait, don't do that.
If I didn't have elders that I am responsible for and family members who are in high risk categories, I'd go be a Shipt shopper right now. I mean, whatever. I'm not doing anything important. If I get it, I get it. But I got kids and I got an old, so I can't quarantine myself.
Yeah.
I guess that's the thing that is really kind of registering to me hard. Like I'm trying to put in a Shipt order, and I'm trying to feed some old people, and I'm gonna tip the crap out of this poor person. But and I asked this on Bates said it, but of all of the gig economy workers, there were a bunch of them that were taking percentages of tips ahead of getting their base fee. I just wanted to make sure Shipt was on the good list.
I don't know if there's any good.
Well, okay, because there were like.
Well, you asked online and somebody said they get 100%. Was that
was Bates? And I don't trust Bates.
You can trust Bates. I mean, not to upload things, or to deliver things that I ship to him for you guys,
or keep a secret, or
Right.
Show up on time. Well, you know,
show
the
up
thing is,
on time. I mean,
like I would swear I sent a Chromebook to Roseboom. I swear I did, and
all right,
I
I'm
think that
just
Jeff just you know
In
I
all
think
fairness, and I've said
he
this
uses it
before,
as like a booster seat for one of the kids. You know.
in all fairness, it is totally possible that one of my children is using it right now to watch YouTube because you sent me 2.
That's possible. Yeah.
I mean, I think
So my
the
question is
conversation.
actually, we're talking about this as if it doesn't affect us, right? The reality is, you know, Will and Rob and other Rob are in jobs that don't pay so well. You know, I mean, Rob doesn't get paid at all. So it's like, Will, I mean, how's this hitting you, man? I mean, what's going on? Like, I worry about YouTube revenues going to shit. I mean,
Yep.
Well, so I make cartoons with VR, and we work with a lot of studios that are now shut down. And we do a lot of stuff for events that are now canceled. So I have a lot of free time. I'm streaming on twitch.tv/notthatwillsmith on the daily. No, it's not great. I mean, it's a 4-year-old business in the time of coronavirus is not a fantastic place to be when you're not on a, you know, when your growth was one of these and not one of these. So,
Yeah.
But I mean, that gives you more time to play Alyx.
that's true.
Yes,
I have been
you
playing
need
a
to
lot of
tell us
Alyx.
about
that. Well, first off, it is a very, very good virtual reality video game. You can, you know, walk around and do all, like, the world is, the density of art in this game, stuff you can pick up and touch and hold and explore and feel is astounding. It's like it is just compared to the other VR games I've played, you're doing more things. It opens in this room in City 17 from Half-Life 2, and you're looking out on it, and they've given you just a little playroom of things you can do. You can pick up whiteboard markers and write on the glass and the TV screens. You can throw rocks at pigeons. You can look at this incredible science. But then you get into like the normal zombie fighting dystopia. I didn't realize that Half-Life were horror games before.
Ravenholm.
Ravenholm was a physics playground with brutal dismemberment, not a scary thing for me, right? I didn't think Ravenholm was scary.
It was moderately scary. I mean, if you're into scary. Yeah.
I can see it, but I'm not a scary thing guy. And when you have head crabs leaping at you from the dark, and you don't have a melee weapon, and you can put your arm up to kind of block them, it's terrifying. It's really scary. They're doing a bunch of cool stuff with game design. Like there's a midway through the game, there's this sequence where there's a monster that like you can kind of control but not really, and it's just stupendous. It is the like I played a lot of the games that Oculus funded, almost all the games that Oculus funded. I played a lot of the indie games. Like this is definitely not an arcade game. It's definitely it's very linear. There's definitely a critical path, but just the density of art and things to explore and look at, and the shooting. There's no auto aim, so you're literally just aiming down sights, and the shooting feels so good. Like managing reloads, you know, dropping the mag, jamming a new one in, racking the slide feels so good and is so much fun. But it's weird to be playing a post-apocalyptic game right now. Like just super, yeah.
I gotta say, I spent, as everybody on this call knows, I spent January basically researching to build a sweet gaming rig, and my end game for that was basically I want to get to the place where I can play Doom Eternal and Half-Life Alyx, and ta-da! Now I didn't order anything, and then all of this happened.
Oh, no.
I'm not gonna bother.
It's the best VR, an actual pandemic.
Yeah, just go outside. Everything's empty.
All right.
We need drones. Yeah.
I think we might have just found the title for next week's episode or tomorrow's episode. Now it's time for the real first-person shooters.
Next week's episode, you know, we've been doing them every day, right?
I don't even know what day. I seriously don't know what day of the week it is. The only thing that I'm looking forward to now is making fun of Picard.
Man.
Gentlemen,
So how have you been feeling about Picard, Will, before we exit?
So I'm conflicted on Picard. I really like character-driven modern TV, and I like Jean-Luc Picard, and I like the idea that his activities during the events of the Next Generation would have damaged him in some profound way that requires deep introspection toward the end of his life. But it doesn't feel like a Star Trek, right? Like it feels like a cool TV show that has a Star Trek character in it, but it like it's missing the Star Trek thing. It feels like a J.J. Abrams Star Trek, not a not a Gene Roddenberry Star Trek.
Yep.
I'm okay with that. I like it's fine.
I think you are kinder to that show than any of the people that are on this call. We've basically been mercilessly beating on it for the last 9 weeks.
I mean, I definitely can see that. I love Patrick Stewart. I'm glad that I get to see Patrick Stewart every week for the last 10 weeks, even if it's not the thing I would have made necessarily. I'm okay with that. I can, there's enough other stuff out there. I'll be fine.
Westworld and Devs are both good right now, so there's at least some good stuff happening.
Oh, see, I bounced off of Westworld after the first season.
You got to come back. Season 3, man.
So far, it's pretty good.
Gentlemen, we've crossed the 35-minute mark. I'm gonna call it.
Yeah, we should call it. For sure.
I would like to thank Will Smith for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. This was great.
And Cliff Lampe.
Check out my SoundCloud.
That's right. All right, Rob Roseboom.
See ya.
And Chris DeBona.
I'll see you later, y'all. Oh wait! I should go robot voice.
Oh yeah! Don't do the reference to the thing that you've been doing for the last half hour. He's gonna do it. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. This has been episode 428 of Geeks in Space. I'm Rob Commander Taco Malda. I would say press the buttons that give us love, but we don't actually really care. So go ahead, Chris, do it before I press the button.
This is Jesus Kent. Sorry. Visit your Patreon, Kent. Press like and subscribe, Kent.
Subscribe
Stop playing with yourself.